Streamer Scuff is getting a little bit crazier than I expected, but I think we should be back here in just a moment's time. Just quickly trying to pull everything back up. Bear with me here. Okay, kick is back up. Are we back on YouTube? We are. I think anyway. Double check here. Yeah, we are back here. Okay, that part's good. And Twitch, are we living? Twitch, we're living. Okay, there we go. We're all back in action here. Apologies about that, everybody. Not the way I wanted this to go, but we make do. I'm going to try and hustle and see if we can hop into our first race here for today. Need my random number generator back here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so from 1 to 4 for the race is what we are going to see. With number, let's see here, where are they at? Kind of stuck between a few here, so I think we're just going to end up going for sports cars to start things off. Actually, no, wait a second. This definitely broke my rhythm a little bit here in terms of what I was expecting to do. I lost track of which races were actually coming up next because of that. Okay, we will end up doing the sports cars. I have 10 different splits of racing. So we've got from 1 to 10. Generate, where are we going? We are going to number 6. We got 1, 2, 3, 6. There we go. You will hop in to watch that one in just a moment's time. Bear with me as my computer dies in the background, apparently. Join that one up. Mixture of drivers here in this one, majority from the rookie class, but there is one each for both, or for D, C, and B classes. So some of these drivers have been around here for a little bit. Let's be expected. Middle of the pack split got a bunch of experienced and new players as well. Oh, I might want that. If I leg out for a moment. It's just because I'm loading in my overlays for the race. And hopefully we're catching this one right as qualifying is finishing. Excuse me. Computer is chugging, so might be asking for it to do a little bit too much here today. But we'll see soon enough once we actually get into it. Yeah, if this race already started, then I'm probably gonna opt to jump out unless it's like literally the first turn. Would love to be able to see this one start to finish. Again, apologies for all the scuff here at the start of this one. Sure enough, we're still in qualifying, going right into the last minute or so. I'm sure you hear them on the background here. Fixed up. Okay. There we go. Now we're moving. Okay, so we have ourselves 11 drivers here in this first sports car race we're going to be seeing right here today. So because of that, going to get that random number generator back out one more time here. From 1 to 11, which car is going to be our hero for today? And it is going to be car number 1. Let's see. Martin Smirowski is going to be the one that we end up following to start this one off. And let's hope I have a popped up window here. Bear with me there. Always finding something here, but there we go. This is better. Now we've got the green flag. We are underway. It is going to be Martin leading the way going into this first one. My overlay is absolutely scuffed off the start here. Let's switch that back up as we see him going to turn number 1. Martin leading the way nice and clearly so far, but we do have somebody immediately off in the background. That is going to be Oscar Guerrero immediately taking a trip into the sand pit with nowhere to go. Let's put this thing onto a different camera angle as Martin starts to run away. Little bit of a battle here in this mid-section here with Braden Leonard trying to find the outside around one of those turns. That's just absolutely brutal to deal with at Laguna Seca. You do not necessarily want to try and make that pass in that little shuttle turn, so it does opt against it. We sit nice and pretty, but of course our hero for race number 1 is going to be Martin Smirowski, leading the charge with a rather convincing lead. If I could hop right on over to him for just a second, I will try to. Martin, where art thou? There you are, almost at the end of your first lap, just completely took this thing and ran with it from the start. And that is actually one of your rookie drivers, so this isn't necessarily one of the favorites in terms of experienced drivers, but just taking their time, keeping it safe, had a good qualifying one, and now are making the most of it so far here in this one. Do a little bit of live fixer-upper work here. Just a moment. I wasn't liking what we do. Oh, we have somebody off into the pit once again. Traveling through the sand pit we go. And that's again awkward spot to try and go into, and this is going to be brutal here. This is Hutchinson getting spun right in front of the field. Bumpers are flying already. Of course, this is road racing. There is no cautions for just basic incidents in this one. Anybody who might be used to NASCAR or something along those lines, no, the littlest thing does not in fact bring you a caution. Bear with me as I fix this up ever so slightly here. A little bit more extra scuff on the dockets here for this evening, but once we get this one in the way like we have it now, it should be a-okay. Game category has been chalked as well. Did it go back to Alluvium? It probably did. It did go back to Alluvium. Alright, thank you, Gear, for the heads up. Did have a little bit of scuff that took me out. And apparently resets everything to the categories of the last stream. But alright, there we go. Now if I have the opportunity, whoop. Definitely do apologize. This one isn't exactly what I was hoping for to start things off. Yes, thank you, Gear. Thank you for the help, and I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you for tuning in. But to catch back up, now that we've got things kind of under control for at least just the moment here. Of course, our hero for today, for this first race, is actually, or was actually our pole sitter, Martin Smirodsky, who just basically took this thing and now already has a 5-second gap on the field, sitting absolutely pretty up front. I honestly think as long as they do not put themselves off track, that they probably have this thing. Of course, this race here is only going to take about 8 laps long, so not too bad, not too long. Meanwhile, we go and check out the rest of the field here. David Woods currently set in second, with Christian Kuresh in third to round up the podium. Closest battle on track as of this moment is actually between the two that we are seeing right here, right now, where it is Kira Sim alongside Jack Huddleston. But with this road race, with the style of this race, it did get them to spread out pretty considerably here. Of course, taking a look at the overlay on the left-hand side, you can tell who the camera is focusing on based off of that blue line. So you can see following up here with number 4 of Kira Sim, battling up there with Jack Huddleston. Getting ready to round up their third lap here. Going into lap 4, Martin Smirodsky basically at this point here, again, still running away with it with a gap of over 6 seconds as of right now. Straight up killing it so far. Let's see if we can find him on track. Where in the world has he gone? Yep, he is just absolutely through the corkscrew, just running away from this. With plenty of time in the world. Let's see if we can find some action on track back here, of course, with Kira Sim and Jack Huddleston. Up going towards the corkscrews. This is the absolute noob killer of a section. We do see Huddleston actually going pretty wide there. Gonna have to slow down. to at least keep themselves safe for now. That was not the corkscrew, actually. That was a different portion of track, but it's interesting. And actually, no, Kier Sim actually goes wide and now is in the dirt. And that's going to allow for Jack Huddleston to make the move on over. Bit of about here now for this is fourth, and third isn't too far away as well. So that is going to be Koresh, Leonard, and Hutchison battling it up for a possible podium here. With Hutchison putting the pressure here onto Leonard. Oh my goodness, late on the brakes here from Hutchison, does manage to squeak beside Leonard, and in fact is going to be able to make the pass. I thought for certain that was going to be a punt from Hutchison, but good on Hutchison to make the move. Good on Leonard as well, though, to take the cautious route through. Probably seeing Hutchison send it in the rearview mirror. Still our closest battle here on track now is Hutchison trying to put some pressure here onto Christian Koresh. Gets alongside, got a nice little straightaway of speed to get there. Does get alongside, but oh my goodness, just punts them aside. That is going to be Koresh going immediately into the wall as well. An absolute brutal case here, and I think that was a blown engine on top of that. Can we get a better look at that? I wonder. Christian, back to the pits they go. Bring this back here, and it was basically no question about this one. Driving up on the straightaway, Hutchison just kind of bowls him over, sends him through the corkscrew, or not the corkscrew, sends him into the dirt, and your car does not exactly stop very well in the dirt. So an absolute brutal move. I was just giving Hutchison props for how they got their first pass done. But maybe the pass itself was a little bit more due to Leonard playing it safe than Hutchison making a fancy move. So unfortunately, might have been feeling themselves a little bit too much there, and it does cost Christian Koresh their race as well, which is definitely heartbreaking considering they were in podium contention. And that is the confirmation as well. I see the meatball flag attached to Christian. So completely out of this race is going to be taken out in 10th place. Only ahead of the number 6 car there of Anthony Hosea Smith, who ended up binning it, I believe, in turn 1 or 2 of the first lap. In terms of our hero, we haven't had to necessarily talk too much about him so far, as Martin Smiderowski just been flying on through over 10 seconds ahead of second place, which is currently being shown as David Woods here. And the nice purple and yellow, I do like that paint scheme. Of course, we're going to try and sneak in a couple of races here tonight. Going to try and bring it to the ovals next time by. So if there is one thing about these road races, as much as they are awesome, exciting, and I love the cars for them, if somebody happens to run away, they're long gone. So, big credit, of course, to Martin, but is putting on an absolute clinic out there. I mean, I tell you what, even though he's been kind of aggressive, Harold Hutchison here maybe looking to try and snag one more spot. No, that is a lap down car. Okay, no, that's not Woods in front of him. That is somebody different. Still about a 19-second gap away there. So yeah, Woods is further ahead by quite a long shot here. Closest battle on the track is not necessarily anything too intense. 10 seconds for first and second is the closest gap on the track, so it is what it is for this one. I guess the risk of the randomness kind of coming in through here, but at least it did let us get our test run and proof of concept kind of through. And of course, white flag has been passed on here one more time for Martin. Just get around cleanly. Hit your marks, don't do anything crazy. Heck, you could probably be a little soft on the gas if you wanted to, just to be safe. But these are race car drivers, you know they don't want to be safe about it. Final couple of turns. May not have been in the fanciest of fashions, but no question about it. Right off the pole. And on position to bring it on home. Just a couple more corners away. Here for Martin Smirowski. Even gonna bring it to the dirt. No chance he messes that one up. Okay. That was kinda close, but does manage to get around the lapped car. Get yourself through that corkscrew and bring it on home. Just passing the pit lane right here, right now. It's bringing on the straightaway for one final time. Your winner in our first ever cast, granted a little bit scuffed, is going to be Martin Smirowski. He's going to be followed up 12 seconds behind here. David Woods just about to wrap things up here. Brings it on home. Where is Hutchison? Might have been 5 seats, but he's going to find themselves with the podium. But learning real quick, of course, not every single one could be a banger. But that's a-okay. We're gonna fix that up real quick. Okay, theory we should be ready to go for this next one. Next coming up is going to be at 9:15, where we do have, let's see, between the two ovals, what do we have? 2 short tracks, so 2 feisty ones. Should be fun ones. In fact, based off of that first race, it might be wise to just kind of stick to ovals for these next couple. Because I guess that is the risk of road racing. Like I was saying before, someone gets a nice, good lead right off the start, and they are long gone. But again, thank you for everybody for tuning in and sticking with me through the scuff. Of course, had my PC crash going into that first race there. So if you did end up getting double pinged by me going live, I do apologize about that. Not trying to spam you. But we can prepare some of this already in advance. So between legend cars or mini stocks, unless somebody has some preference in the chat, I will send it to the random number generator to flip the coin for us per se. Still getting used to the iRacing UI, so now I actually found everything that I was looking for before. It actually shows the ticker and all the races lining up. But it looks like it is going to be between Legends Cup and Mini Stock. Legends Cup going to be number 1, Mini Stock number 2. Let's randomize it. And we are going with the Legends. That number did not move, but I definitely clicked the button, so it is going to be number 1 for Legends. And then splits we won't know until they load in. Might be a bit of a smaller one, it looks like. 19 drivers signed up here, so I would not be surprised if they just cut that in half. Okay, just waiting on the session to open up. But of course, hope everybody, of course, is having a fantastic day. Again, like I was kind of saying a little bit earlier, a little bit of a mixed bag for myself. It's very, very easy for me as of late to get down in the dumps. As much as I talk about trying to move on from the old guild and whatnot, part of me still wishes that they missed me a little. I know that is exactly not the case, though. They're doing just fine, and I'm happy for them, don't get me wrong. But I'm my own worst critic. I kind of beat myself up, what can I say? But then I also did, of course, get a notification that I might have something in the pipeline for us to celebrate together, so we'll see when we get there for sure. Once I know for sure, I'll make some sort of announcement. Yeah, so we got this one split up between only 2 splits with a top and a bottom split. So one more time, only need 1s and 2s in the generator. Are we doing top split or bottom split? Click bottom split. And we shall load that one up. Once again, looking like majority of rookies in here, but we do have 2 D-class, 1 B-class, as well as 1 A-class driver. But of course, when I'm talking about the rankings, I'm specifically actually talking about their safety rating. So normally when I see somebody with a higher rating in that regard, I'm thinking of a more experienced driver that's used to racing around other people. They stay safe, they don't cause as many accidents, that kind of ordeal. That being said, their actual rank in terms of skill is a little bit different. That is one of the weird things about iRacing, because they do, of course, have the 2 separate ranking systems. One just to make sure that you're not an idiot out there, and then the other for your actual speed itself. There we go. This one's loading faster compared to the other one, so it won't be too much longer. Okay, I'm sure you can hear it in the background. Switch on over in just a second here. Three minutes still of qualifying to go. And we have ourselves 9 drivers here, so it's time to randomize this one from 1 to 9. Random number generator, who will be our hero? It is going to be again the number 2 car, this time number 2, being driven by Shane Moreland, who is currently not on track to set a qualifying time, so they may be stuck at the back unless they make a last-ditch push here. Here, switch that over so we can kind of see that. Currently the number 7 of Presley Patron, sitting in the pole position. And I don't know about you all, but has everything been backwards since we've started this? Yeah, because they're turning right on this oval, aren't they? This doesn't seem right at all. Okay. Did I perhaps break something? How did I do that? Okay, let's fix that. That's better. I knew something didn't feel right. Don't ask me how I pulled that one off. I think I tried to center the game horizontally, and I ended up flipping it horizontally. Oh, it's been one of those days, but hey, we're still just having fun. I'm just happy to be hanging out. Minute 30 left to go here in this qualifying session, but we're seeing a lot of these drivers not necessarily post a time. That's why you see all their names grayed out. They've either gone already or are all done, or have not touched the track. So, of course, this track here, this is South Boston. This is basically one of the rookie short course or short track race tracks that you would get when first starting out. And it's a bit of a mixed bag. I know personally I do enjoy it, but anybody who cannot hold their own in terms of their patience does not do very well here, because it tends to be rather close-knit with lots of bumper-to-bumper action, and especially in the rookie series, lots of punterinos. So I am expecting lots of contact, to say the least, here for this one coming up. Let's go through our starting lineup here one more time. It is, of course, going to be Presley Patron going to be leading us off on the pole. Justin Melton, which is the highest rated driver here in terms of their safety rating. They're in the number 6 car, sitting in second place. Jonathan Porter in number 4, going to be in third spot. Thomas White, Kyle Wigglesworth, Mika Bittner, Shane Moreland, of course, our makeshift hero for this Hero to Zero run. Or his Hero to Hero run. We'll see which one it ends up being here in a second. Alongside Henry Woods as well as Mark Queen. In the instance where our hero does not start the race, we will do what we can to quickly find another one. Sure enough, they aren't actually going to make the field, so I'm going to quickly hit generate one more time and see who we get. It'll be now the number 3 car, so Thomas White, you are now our makeshift hero here today. Where are you, Thomas? Number 3. There he is in the white and red, currently going to be starting on the outside of row number 2 here at South Boston Raceway. One more time around here for the pace car before we set them off for 30 laps of absolute destruction, more than likely. Got my camera ready and waiting to see what kind of unholiness we are going to see in turns 1 and 2. Or does everybody actually behave? I'd be quite surprised, not gonna lie. But sure enough, the pace car is off. Pesley Patron leads the field as we go green. Unfortunately for our hero, Thomas White, immediately getting pushed off to the outside. Not going to be put into the wall or anything, but really expecting that everybody else in front of them was going to start making some contact. But to be completely honest, right here, right now, everybody's been behaving except for Mika Bittner, who seems to have found themselves into the wall. We got a spinner as well down in turn number 1. And a spinner here as well. This is going to be not their hero. This is Jonathan Porter. That was, I believe, our 4th place driver. Just losing it by themselves. So, hangs on. And now actually it's going to be Kyle Wiggleworth into the wall as well. Don't pull in front of everybody. Oh my goodness, he almost did. That could have been problematic. Gonna bring him all the way back down to 7th place. I'll tell you what, Thomas White had a bit of an issue, but did not lose too much until just now. Thomas, oh no, what happened? He just dropped off the face of the earth. He's not even on the track anymore, I don't think. Oh no, he is still there, but what happened? Because he bounced right back off. Oh, he did end up spinning around. Let's see. Battling out there with the green car. What ended up going down? Did he just lose it himself? Sure enough. Just lost it himself, but did not take any damage. So, as we go back to live, still hanging in there, this Lease, but has to fight through the hard way. And it's going to be a little bit rough for him as the leaders, they're catching up. Taking a look here at our battle for 4th place. Jonathan Porter alongside Henry Woods. Woods, who did start off near the back, but did manage just keep their nose relatively clean and find a couple of extra spots for their troubles. That is the closest battle on track as of this moment. Because not exactly like the first race, but in relatively similar fashion. If we hop on back up here to the top with Presley Patron, about a 1.5 seconds lead here on Justin Melton. Doing rather well for themselves. And in a very, very odd, strange scenario, everybody's actually spread out a little bit. I was expecting this to be chaos, but as of right now, it's been rather tame. And oh no, did something happen to White again? I just noticed that they're being shown as 4 laps down, and I'm like, oh no, Mr. White, what happened? Okay, I'm gonna quickly try to back up and see what happened to our makeshift hero. Around the corner they go. Looks like similar thing in a similar turn. Sure enough, that is going to be the case, but this time could not keep it off of the wall. And is just going to end up resetting. Absolutely heartbreaker here for our makeshift hero. As they do end up falling in this one. Between the top two here, though, I think the lapped traffic might be making things a little bit difficult here for Presley Pratchett, as Justin Melton has been able to catch back up at least a little bit. Kyle Wigglesworth going to get out of the way here for their leader. But yeah, Melton has been able to bring it back within a second, within not striking distance, but keeping him honest. A good lap there for Patron, however. It's all going to be dependent on what happens between him and Porter right here, right now. Does Porter let him by nicely, or do they play a little bit rough? Side by side, not going to be giving away that position for free. Unlike road racing, blue flags in this are basically optional. Still side by side. Patron and Porter, they do make contact! An absolute worst case scenario! And oh my goodness, he's gonna catch Melton as well! He's on his side, scraping all the way down! And Mika Bittner has managed to get themselves into the lead. And that's that rookie chaos that I was talking about. Just trying to pass a lapped car goes wrong. Porter got in the way, and now Bittner is ahead by a second. However, I don't want to necessarily look away because Patron is much faster than Bittner and are catching up still. Get us an angle on this battle because we are over halfway into this one. That's a lot of laps here for Mika Bittner to have to try and hang on for. Oh, that was a bad turn there for Bittner. That's going to put Patron right on his inside. On their inside, rather. And sure enough, it is going to be Patron taking the lead in this one. Henry Woods, who is currently a lap down, so this battle is not going to be for anything. So let's quickly, as fast as I possibly can here, let's take a look at what the heck just happened between our drivers. Let's bring this back, let's space things out just a little bit. All started here. Patron was just trying to get past the lapped car of Jonathan Porter. Somebody slide up, somebody get chopped. Oh, Porter just lost it all by themselves. And then Patron flies across the track, going directly into Melton, who ends up on their lid. Let's quickly take a look from their point of view. And I bricked that one up, so you're going to have to give me just a second to find it. Quickly taking a look, but apparently I have the same production quality as Fox Sports because Bittner has gotten back into the lead, and I completely missed it by trying to do something completely different. So Mika Bittner, what on earth? How did you get past the leader? Bring it back at least a little bit here. Did manage to close the gap, as he did see here Patron fighting through lap traffic once again. Bit him once, so you know he's going to be nervous trying to get through here. And oh, is he running up on Porter again? Actually, no, Bittner got really close. Back up with Porter once again. Bittner right on the bumper of Presley Patron. Gets on the inside, and somehow, some way, Mika Bittner took the lead in that regard. Bring this back up to live, where Patron's still just a half a second behind. With about 3 laps to go here, Mika Bittner might be able to steal one here. Patron looks like the faster driver this entire race, However, look at the cars. Bittner's car looks as clean as can be. Meanwhile, Patron did get beat up a little bit earlier in that one. Maybe that's all the difference it takes. What do you got in the tank? Patron is catching up slowly, but surely. Whoa, boy, that was actually melting down to the side, but getting it here from the point of view. And actually, hang on a second, this could be it. Can we get Patron right beside? It's so close. The cars are sliding to try and hang on. Last lap, white flag has been thrown. Bittner just needs one more clean set of turns to get this one. They do go wide, but Patron is too far behind to make this one happen. And how about that, Mika Bittner with the victory here today. Patron definitely going to be kicking themselves. Bittner, not a care in the world, just going to junk it after the victory. Cars are still going around by racing speeds, but it is time for donuts. Capitalizing on the chaos here at Step Boston Raceway. And burning it down here for us. Love to see it. Let them celebrate for just a moment. There we go. All right. That was a little bit more of what I was expecting when it came to the races. The first race was a little bit too honest, a little bit too clean. That's the kind of chaos that I was expecting. But we have about another 8 minutes or so before we get into the next one. We have a mixture of choices this time between mini stocks and legends again. Or if we do feel brave and want to try road courses again, that seems to be the popular option. There's like 60 drivers already signed up for that road course race. Meanwhile, Oval has next to nothing. Maybe we do races of the cars that we have not done yet. So that'd be either mini stocks or Formula 1600. But we do have a little bit of time before we get there to figure that out. Give me 1 second. Jump scare Sylen incoming. Hello. There we go. That is the only thing that's a little bit of a bugger that we have to waited between each race like this, but it is what it is. If anything, it gets me an opportunity for a designated water break, which is nice. Of course, still trying to figure out content ideas as well for streams. I don't know if it's just being nervous or what. Maybe the first cast on stream, but even though it feels like I've been doing it for an eternity, I'm still nervous. That is one thing that I will say, is that at least for me personally, no matter how many times you do something, you still get anxious about it. Stage fright still does kind of exist a little bit. But instead of a term of weakness, I like to consider that just me caring. A little bit, maybe too much, but it wouldn't be me if I didn't do that. But while I have the opportunity, about 5 minutes until the next race to cast shows up, if anybody in the chat has any suggestions or any preferences between mini stock or Formula 1600, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll gladly just flip the coin. Nothing wrong with flipping the coin, of course, but if somebody in particular has something they specifically want, I'm a small enough streamer that I am completely willing to follow the chat. But of course, not mandatory. Don't feel obligated. One thing that I thought was kind of cute earlier today. So, anytime I'm doing these streams, of course, I refer to it as I'm going to work here in regards to talking to the kids about it. And my oldest today, because my oldest is still only 4 to 5, and it's like, hey, Daddy, can I go to work with you? Wants to hop on stream with me. And for the record, yes, I know what my kids' age are. I'm just not trying to give exact ages so that I'm not completely doxing the kiddo. I'm not that bad, okay? But no, it's adorable. And he's like, sing. Like, can we sing on stream? And it's like, oh my. Warms my heart. Maybe there'll be a time. Well, it is definitely heartwarming watching them grow up and just thinking to yourself constantly, I hope they do anything, but just don't be like me. Kids look up to you as a role model. No, they should not. Absolutely not. Run away. Do anything but. Keep yourself safe and do anything but what I'm doing. Go be a welder, go be a plumber. Get into the trades. Be a nurse, be a medical professional, be whatever you want. Obviously, whatever they want to actually be, I will give full support for, but one could still have their preferences. But about a minute left to go before the races have their sessions get underway. Okay, 1 for Formula 1600. 2 for mini stock ovals. get that back on screen. Voila. Okay, one or two. Two mini stock ovals is where we'll be going next. 30 people signed up for this race at South Boston Speedway, it looks like. And I'd argue that these mini stock race cars are a little bit easier to handle compared to the Legends cars. Granted, I could be wrong, but at least personally, that's how I felt. They tend to be a little bit tighter overall, less prone to spinning out. Okay, sessions are just loading up now. Okay, let's go find them. That is dirt mini stock. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, just a moment's time here. Session still isn't quite up just yet. Alright, so we've got two splits of 14 drivers going into this next one. Bring it back one more time. Which split are we doing? One or two? 1, 2, 3, click. Top split. We will catch the best drivers this time by. And of the 14 drivers, which number are we going to try and follow as our hero? 1, 2, 3, click. Car number 10. So we'll see who that ends up actually being here in just a moment's time. Loading into the race right now. And of course, top split, I do expect there to be some better drivers overall, and based off of safety ratings, it does seem a little bit higher. Even though this is a rookie series, I only see 4 rookies out of the 14 drivers. Everybody else is either one of the other ones. Majority D-class, it looks like, alongside 3C, 1B, and 1A. Strength of field being shown as 1400, so a little bit above average, but nothing too crazy. I can picture it now that because there's 14 drivers, my overlay is going to be cooked. So let's quickly try and fix that. Let's see if that works. Alright, as you can hear in the background, we are now on track and just about good to go. Quick little adjustment on the overlay before we get started here. Got a few more cars to fill out the field. That's better. Okay, so we did have car number 10 as our hero today, and that's currently going to be Nathan Stewart, who has already finished their lap, was being shown in fourth when I first looked, but is not the case anymore. As they come in for their in lap, see if anybody else can maybe sneak a spot away from Nathan Stewart. As of right now, currently shown in 6th position. We got Timothy Gill, number 1. Of course, the way that the number system works in iRacing, whoever is number 1 is the best rated driver in the field. So, Timothy Gill being shown so low right here is definitely an upset of sorts. But it's also why I'm not so surprised that we're seeing 2, 4, 3... all up in the top 5. As it does look like our hero today, Nathan Stewart, is going to be starting off dead center, right in the middle of course, in 7th position. Let's fix that overlay up one more time and introduce our racers here today for this South Boston Speedway random ranked race and possible cluster. We'll have to see what happens here in just a second. On the pole, it is going to be Matthew Blevins. Alongside them, Jagan La Liberté, Nick Garvin, and William Garvin. Any relation? I have no idea, but kind of cool that they're right next to each other in the same race. Cameron Emmer alongside Matthew Tweedle in row 3. Row 4, our hero Nathan Stewart alongside Robert Vogel. Kyle McKinney and Robert Kozlowski going to round up the top 10 alongside Timothy Gill and Lee Hajun in 11th and 12th. Rounding up the field, Nathan Barrett and Jeremy Poland. Here for 35 laps of likely very, very rough bumping and banging here at South Boston Speedway. Of course, our hero Nathan Stewart, get a look at the car right here, the number 10, plain white, blue, and green, unsponsored machine. That is one of the things I definitely have to look up. I know there are apps that allow you to show off your paint schemes, and that is something I'm going to need if we're going to do our own paint schemes sometime, maybe next week. Lock these overlays in so I don't accidentally make them go flying across the screen. And here we go. 14 cars along this small track is going to be intense. In the last race that we saw, there was only like 7 or 8, and yet they couldn't get out of each other's way. That race was determined by lapped car interference. Are we going to see more of that here in this one? For the sake of Matthew Blevins, I hope not, but for the sake of our hero Nathan Stewart, that might be the break they need to get up here, because they have quite a lot of work to do. The cheers from NASCAR in the background Hear the meows coming through the microphone. Sorry, but you have been embraced by NASCAT that requires 1 can of tuna. But as we see, pace car dives on through. Here we go, 14 cars around South Boston Speedway. Let the chaos begin. Side by side through the first turn with Jacob Liberté taking the lead temporarily. Matthew Blevins going to be falling a little bit behind. Nathan Stewart doesn't look like they've gotten on the right side of things here, dropping all the way down the field. And a massive crash going into the midsection. That was Jacob Liberté. And it's actually an absolute pile up going in the turn number 1. Oh no, and of course, this is Rookie Series. There is no cautions, only chaos. As we see more and more contact going through, including the leaders. Did they escape? I have no clue. But our poor hero once again ends up being a bit of a commentary curse. Let's go back and see what in the world happened off the start of that one. Of course, Nathan starting in a bit of the middle does end up getting jumped on here by the 7 of Kozlowski, put right into the center. And honestly, they get stuck, but the big incident was kind of just ahead of them. Let me see if I can get that one here. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for with Liberté and the rest of them. What on earth happened for this one? So Blevins gets underneath, which was the fight for the lead. Pushed aside, and it was absolute carnage down the straightaway. It seems fine for now until everybody else just piles on through. Absolute chaos here on the first couple of laps. One more angle of that big wreck here. As Liberté spins, everything seems fine. In theory, just go high, but they were racing side by side beside them. And well, it didn't look good from there. But let's get back to the swing of things. We see some new faces in the second place position anyway. William Garvin made their way up into that spot for the time being, as Emmer does end up going down. A little bit more contact for the leader to have to dive on through there. This lap traffic is rather feisty, it looks like. But that top 3 still within a second of each other. Blevins, Garvin, and Emmer. And in this instance, we are getting nothing but zeros today. You may see our hero Nathan Stewart with that black bar around them. They have been black flagged for too many incidents in this race. So they have been disqualified and kicked out of the race. Oh dear, oh dear. But we are still in for a treat, it looks like, with our top 3. Blevins, Garvin, and Emmer still battling it out. Garvin pretty much right on the bumper of Blevins at this moment. Side by side down here in the middle as well. McKinney trying to get that spot back here from Tweedle. Side by side once again, a little bit of door clapping. And never mind, that's actually La Liberté down in 11th, but just kind of holding up McKinney. So a little bit of a dangerous spot there for McKinney, but going to keep them safe for now. But now this is what we're talking about. Side by side here for the lead. William Garvin trying to make it work on the outside, which normally does not work very well on these short tracks. And it's going to be forced to be tucked right back behind of Blevins, and it allows for Emmer. That is not actually Emmer, that is Garvin. It's the other Garvin, all the way down in 12th, but right behind their possible brother. I'm not quite sure, but again, the fact that they have the same last name and the same race is kind of funny. The Garvin still does have plenty of time to try and make the move happen if they do end up finding the opportunity. They don't have to force it right now. Maybe wait for some of these lapped cars to get involved and mess around. It's right along the lap here with Garvin in just a second, as we do see Garvin falling back ever so slightly compared to the last couple of laps. Another side-by-side battle here for McKinney, trying to get around Poland. Again, just trying to get around lap traffic, but they're getting so feisty still. And that is a lot of paint being taken off of that right-hand side of Kyle McKinney's car. And we do see contact, actually, again, going to clog up that one. Liberté just not finding the way around. And actually, this is still just a mess here. People are getting launched up into the skies. And we just have an absolute cluster. What is going on here? They're trying to race, but they cannot escape the madness. And that is going to allow for Cameron Emmer to take the second place spot. What on earth happens there? And the spin right in front of Garvin is just going to allow for Emmer to slide on through like nobody's business. But now, because of that, that is a 2.5 second lead here for Blevins, currently leading with 23 out of 35 laps completed. We do have another disqualification here being given, this time to the number 12 of Jeremy Poland. So that is going to be 2 racers DQ'd in this one. First was our hero Stewart, who apparently is still on the track. Maybe it was just a drive-through. It might have just been a drive-through penalty. But with the way this race is going, Blevins just has to find a way to keep their nose as clean as possible. But with lapped cars battling and spinning out in front of you, as we see here from Blevins' view. So Levin, so he's already lapping the 6th place driver. Just hogging up the middle of the road. Of course, in ovals, you don't have to give that position back. Definitely respectful if you do. Gets alongside, that's the number 7 of Kozlowski as well. Right alongside, actually using the leader to make a pass for themselves there. Out of 35. Blevins now with a 3.5 second lead, as the field kind of finds its space to split up. Or I say split up, but it's in terms of the battle themselves. This is your closest battle on track here, and is for second spot. Of course, Emmer and Garvin still battling it up back and forth. Blevins in a battle for themselves as well, because being in the hornet's nest around a bunch of lapped cars is absolutely terrifying. Four more to go. Number 9, Hojun, getting put into the wall there by Kozlowski. As Blevins, you're definitely sweating bullets right now. You want to be able to take it easy, but with all of these lapped cars flying around behind you like this, especially with how Kozlowski has been driving, they are rather aggressive, so got to be extremely careful. Doesn't matter if you're a leader. Look at this, just straight up bumping and trying to pass the leader, pushing them aside even. This is very, very aggressive stuff coming out of Kozlowski. And Blevins, probably wisely so, going to just end up allowing Kozlowski to go around. Hits the wall as well. Some damage being done to the right side there of Blevins, but Not enough to slow them down, but it has caused... Oh, there's contact! There's contact for the leaders! They are being spun right around. Emmer and Garvin are around the corner as well. Where are they? They're going to pile on in. Garvin makes the pass, but gets damage. Emmer has also been damaged, but stuck completely. Garvin might find the break of a lifetime, and I'm not talking about their front bumper. I'm talking about the fact that they've gotten themselves into this lead. With just like that, the race is done. William Garvin absolutely steals one in this race. Oh my goodness. Blevins is going to end up being third after all of that. Kyle McKinney ends up taking second place. What on earth just happened? Let's bring this back. I was just talking about too how Kozlowski has been rather aggressive in this one. And sure enough, I think I didn't quite necessarily get it there. Let's see if this angle is a little bit better here. On to Matthew Blevins. Blevins actually did a little bit of retaliation there onto Kozlowski for not turning around or letting them by. Ends up getting himself spun by the 11 of Vogel. And ends up throwing away the race. It was already spun after the contact with Kozlowski. And now what on earth happened to Emmer? Because at that point, Emmer, I believe, was second place. Is pile on through there? What on earth happened there? I need blimp cam. Where is Emmer? Pretty far behind. Like we see Garvin's not even on top of them. And the wreck starts in front of them, I think right here. Where does it come in and just barely makes contact, actually, and then spun by Garvey in action after the fact. Unbelievable. Let's see that one more time here, but from Garvin's point of view in the cockpit. Right here, trailing behind of Emmer. You don't got much time to react. You can kind of see him slowing down, and sure enough, there's the contact. And I mean, at that point there, I mean, you can make your own assumptions, but that's not necessarily a point where you have much time to react. Just all of a sudden, Emmer's on your bumper getting spun around. So an absolute sadness here for Matthew Blevins. Definitely unfortunate. I mean, you can't always go off of rating, but that's what kind of short tracks end up doing to you, right? You get frustrated with a lapsed car maybe fighting for the position, even though you think they should just move over. They technically don't have to. And all of a sudden, one aggressive move just costs you the race. You just tuck in behind Kozlowski and just cruise out. Emmer's not catching you. That was like 5 car lengths back. And your temperament got you wrecked there. What a race though. Bring it back here. There we go. Oh, I'm fluid. There we go. We may have time for one more. I'm going to quickly see if there's something that we can quickly hop on into. Otherwise, that may be it for tonight, but I will let you know in just one moment. These last couple have been fun, though. I'm not going to lie. The first one kind of sucked because of the tech issues, kind of rushed to get into things, and then it ended up just being a bit of a blowout, to be completely honest with you. These last couple have been fun. I've already got a couple clips in my mind that I can go through to possibly show off tonight's events. I do have to get used to casting, however. Part of me still wants to be extremely quiet, worried about waking the kids up, but the proper accommodations have been made so that they can't hear me and throughout their rest. I know I still have a lot more in the tank that I can showing off, but we'll get there, we'll get there. This is a marathon, not a sprint, right? Well, actually, no, these races are sprint races, but I mean in terms of streaming. The next race is in 5 minutes, and I think we'll do a fun one to close out the night with some rally cars. We're gonna throw some Volkswagen Beetles around a course that jumps and have some fun with that. Personally, it's one of my favorite kind of racing styles. It doesn't get enough love here on the iRacing service, but it is an absolute blast. Whew. Not gonna lie, definitely glad that there are these little water breaks in between, though. I'm in here in the room in the dark doing the cast, but yet I have to turn off the air conditioner, otherwise I'll just hear the dang thing behind me the entire broadcast. So it feels like I got a bunch of studio lights on me, even though it's just a phone light. I don't know about all of you, but we've had some pretty hot days over the last couple of days. Today was the first time where it actually felt relatively nice. And over the last week, we've had like 5-6 thunderstorms. It's been absolutely brutal. Trees falling all over the place. Thankfully here, only got the power knocked out once and maybe for like 20 minutes at most. I know there are plenty of people around me that got much worse, so I'm definitely thankful for that. Not that they got it worse than I did, but that I got minimum. Yeah, I'm happy your power got out. Yeah, no. About one more here. going to be starting off in just about a minute's time. But it's nice getting into the swing of things. I know I'm not necessarily the most clean, most polished of broadcasters. But first and foremost, I want to get into the routine, not into routine per se, but just be used to being the caster again, trying to entertain again. I say again, but I mean like just getting into the swing of things. In terms of post-production, I feel like I've been doing really, really good. Making shorts and making long-form videos. It's just constantly thinking of new ideas for stream. I know not everyone's gonna click. And the ones that do aren't gonna click for everybody. But hey, like I said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Registration just closed there for the race, so we should be underway in just a moment's time. But this was a good experience as well. Even though I hate scuff, I hate when things go wrong, it is definitely something that you have to kind of be able to experience, be able to think on the fly when something doesn't necessarily go perfectly. And I feel like we did all right tonight. Okay, we have 3 splits of 6 cars here today for the Rallycross. Let's very, very quickly bring it on over to our display capture. Number generator, let's go. 1 to 3, which split are we getting? We're getting the top split. We're going to get the best of the best. Of the 7 cars that are actually in this, who is our hero? It's going to be the underdog. We're going with number 7. Let's load in. Now, I know when I used to compete for iRacing back in the day, Rallycross was basically one of the most neglected series on the iRacing calendar. Just doesn't necessarily have the biggest player base. So even though there are higher ranked rally races, there's usually not enough people to actually fill them. So very, very good Rallycross drivers do end up in the rookie races pretty consistently. So seeing this race here today, like, it kind of surprised me when I saw the rating of these drivers that we're going to be seeing this time by. We have one guy here, Jason Guthrie. He has to be the number 1 in the lobby because he's got 3,000 iRating. And that takes weeks of racing, if not months, of constantly winning and placing high to get that kind of thing. So It'll be entertaining. Qualifying just about to get started here. And as soon as this loads up, we'll swing into it. I love the noises of these things. They're so derpy. Of course, this number 7 that we're following along with right here, right now, Jahard, is our hero for this race. As my background bleeds completely off track here. Yikes, let's fix that. There we go. Let's ride along once again. Here with Jahard for their qualifying run. Let's see how high they can get up here. Why don't we ride along for a lap with them? This is such a tricky corner right here. You kind of want to stick a tire or two onto the pavement to give yourself a little bit of extra grip. But if you stay on too long, then you end up hitting the marbles or hitting the turtles, the big bumps. No, Jahard going on in for a second lap. First lap does get them into thirds, doing better than Keaton and Guerrera. Keeps tight to the wall as long as possible. Watch out for the jump. Don't want to go too fast over this, or you cannot slow down in time for this turn. Does get it pretty nicely, but again, this section here, grab the curb just for a moment's notice to get some rotation. Get themselves as close to that curb as possible for this one. A little bit wide, but not too bad. This actually looks like a pretty decent lap here for Jahard. Goes across the line. Where do they end up? Do they improve? I don't think they do this time. So being shown in 4th place so far. Not bad for being the underdog here in this one. Meanwhile, like I was saying before, Jason Guthrie has the highest rating in the lobby by a long shot, leading the charge here. And of course, the track itself, you don't really get to see this too often, but this is Phoenix, so the same Phoenix that you would see in NASCAR, but this is just a rallycross track that they made on the inside, in the infield. And of course, this is a standing start, so everybody's going to be bunched right up. Get it situated. Overlays in check. Let's see if we can get ourselves a good camera angle for the start of this one. Got nothing but pole. Is blimp the way to go? Blimp might be the way to go here. Alright. Don't like using blimp early, but guess what we're going to have to do. So, of course, we have Volkswagen Beetles in rallycross action here at the Legacy Phoenix track. 8 laps, and our hero, Jahard Retief, right there, dead center in the middle with that red and green paint job, waiting for the lights to go out. It looks like somebody jumped the gun a little bit on the outside. And off they go, an absolute rough start here for Jahard, tucked right into the middle of all of them. It's going to be Guthrie leading them into the charge. Pavot right there. And we have a flip once again. The commentator's curse is going to attack our hero once again. At least they weren't the one worst off for it. As Retief may have been the one to make the contact, but they do get out alive. Joker lap going to be used immediately here for Jahard to try and get ahead as much as possible. You get one of these per race. But off the start, it goes Guthrie, then Keaton, then Retief after the Joker has been used. You may be noticing that Keaton does have the black bar on them on the overlay. They have been black flagged for the jump start, so they are going to have to go back and get a penalty of sorts. Jahard does manage to fall down here as a couple of other drivers do take the Joker. Side by side, big contact actually. Jahard up against Devin Keaton. Keaton just absolutely tilted after the race has been basically squandered from before the lights even going off. The battle for going on for fourth here. Big braking zone here, and this is for the lead, of course. Now Guthrie leads the charge with Paval pretty close behind. Then this is the next closest battle here on the track. We do have the spinner. That is going to be Tim Petrick. Going to end up giving the spot up after losing it on the jump. Maybe going a little bit too quickly. Kind of biting him in the rear a little bit. Right along here with Guthrie for a little bit of moments time here. Paval taking their time, but keeping the pressure on. Guthrie just looking clean overall. You can see Paval just trying their best to get as much time saved as possible, but right there took way too much speed into that one. And this should, in theory, allow for Guthrie to run away with this one. And then Gabriel Fatinelli still able to hang on. Oh gosh, Retief nearly binning it there on the turtle. Those little blue bumps, I know a lot of people who maybe not necessarily follow racing see those things. It's like, okay, that's not much of a deterrent. You can go across that and be a-okay, right? And I think Retief saw just exactly right there why that's not exactly true. But actually, oh, big damage actually here from Fantinelli. He binned it in the Joker. The fastest area where you have the most grip. And that might actually allow for Retief to get past. No. Not enough. The Joker just saves you that much time. He was literally spun out. And Retief could not capitalize. And big damage once again. The turtle strikes back onto Fatinelli again. Oh my goodness. And this one actually hurt. That one might have broken the car completely. And yeah, Fatinelli from a podium position all the way back to the garage. Let's take a look at that and see what the heck happened. Because that last 30 seconds of racing here for Fatinelli, that sounds like a Mortal Kombat fatality, but I mean, it was a wise choice for Fatinelli to go into the into the Joker. But spinning it out, it's like, okay, that stunk, but you can get it back going. The car looks relatively healthy. Everything seems fine, gets back on track a-okay. What went wrong? Oh, just absolutely ate that turtle and sends them right careening into the wall. There's no getting back from that one. And that puts them into the garage as we now ride along with Retief once again. Might have been the last ranked person or the lowest ranked person in the lobby, but for the most part has been keeping it clean. May not have been the fastest, but they are going to be able to put themselves in a good spot, just like this driver right here, as this is of course the last lap. Jason Guthrie, highest rated for a reason, finds another victory here. Nicholas Paval going to go across the line here for second place. And now short to follow is going to be our hero, Jahard Retief. Car is a little beat up, but you can Don't worry about that after some podium Coca-Cola. Devin Keaton is going to go across the line in 4th, but they do have that penalty to add on after the fact. Does he keep 4th? It might have been further ahead. No, it is going to put him back down the 5th. So Guerrera going to end up getting 4th. I do kind of want to go back one more time here at the very beginning of this race, where we were riding along with Retief. Sorry for the eye bulging here for a second. Let's get to the start of this race. In just a moment's time. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Because there was some sort of chaos right off the rip. Almost there, bear with me. Okay, so right off the start, I'm looking at the black car, the black and yellow. What on earth? Oh, that's some brutal net code, if I have ever seen it. Did they actually make contact, or is that just net code? Hang on, let's see that one more time. Which driver is that? Is that Petrick? Here, let's see. Or was that? No, that's actually Guerrera. So this guy went from on his lid into 4th place. Okay, nicely done. Chase camera. Onto Guerrera. Is this netcode or was it contact? Let's see. Oh, that is some extreme netcode. Oh, goodness. It's like, yes, there was the tiniest bit of contact, but nowhere near enough to flip them like that. That is absolutely ridiculous. One more time from the cockpit of Retief. Just casually driving on through to turn number 1, and then, oh god! It's screw it, just keep gunning it. Take the Joker and see what happens. Ends up getting 3rd in this race. That's amusing. Oh. But that was amusing, that was fun. That crash was absolutely BS, though. I feel bad for Guerrera going flying like that. But we did get a lot accomplished today. It was fun being able to cast for everybody. First time trying it, of course, with this type of setup. I'm thankfully, other than having a little bit of a rush start with some slight technical issues, that this is something that we can do without issue. I do worry what happens when we start trying to do races with maybe some bigger car fields, like when we take into NASCAR where it has like, say, like 36 or 24 cars. Can the car keep up? Because I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I know I definitely did, that, say, me talking, for example, it didn't quite keep up, per se. But meanwhile, now that I turned the game off, I'm doing perfectly fine. So, just a few things, and I'm glad that you are willing to hear me out while I test all of these options. I will be calling it a night very, very shortly. One more time, just take it easy here and go over what the plans are for the next stream. Oh, all right. Of course, going into not Monday, but next Tuesday, We'll do a stream once again, same time as per usual, 8:30 Eastern. And I think the plan for this one will be to try and paint a car together for iRacing, as if I was going to drive. I don't know if that's something I'm actually going to do yet or not, but taking inspiration from some of the cars that we saw at Offkai Expo, for example, where VTubers and other streamers had cars designed with them on it. I'm curious what it would look like if we tried to put me on a car. So I do have some experience with iRacing painting, but nothing too fancy. Just kind of using the default templates and slightly changing them as I need to. I'm curious as to what we can build, and once the car is painted up, maybe see if we can bring it on the track temporarily and see if we can get some scenic pictures together or something like that. And heck, maybe one day we'll race it. I'm curious as to how that would end up working. Because of course I do have the equipment necessary to race if I wanted to. Would that make my PC explode? We will see. But not today. And then of course Friday, I am still up in the air as to what that stream will entail. I'm sure I will figure out within the next 1 or 2 nights, because my head is not going to allow me to sleep until I figure out an idea. So that will absolutely be a thing. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, I do have this schedule there posted, what streams are upcoming. So you can kind of see what the idea is ahead of time, alongside with my X social media. And of course, catch a bunch of the highlights in short form on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But with that being said, it's time to call in tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you had a great day, had a great night. Thank you for spending it with me as well. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, everybody.